13.9% of his income, on his income.
Okay.
And he says he'll release his 2011 when it's done. But presidential candidates of both parties routinely have released many years of tax records. Many Republicans have joined Democrats in calling on Romney to release years of returns. That brings us to the lesson we learned from a question asked at Nixon's February 25th, 1974 news conference. Question: Mr. President, April 21, 1969 was a significant day for you in taxes for the country too. That is, the notary date on the deed that allowed you to give your papers to the government and pay just token taxes for 2 years. On that same date, you had a tax reform message in which you said, and I quote, "Special preferences in the law permit far too many Americans to pay less than their fair share of taxes. Too many others bear too much of the tax burden." Now, Mr. President, do you think you paid your fair share of taxes? Nixon, of course, never answered the question. He just glared at the reporter and listed names of Democrats who he said took the same deduction. Never mind that it's illegal for a federal official to disclose individuals' tax returns. The real answer to the question, as I knew when I asked it that night, came in the mere asking of it. Nixon never paid his fair share. Well, that is surely Romney's real failure.
Well, all rich people have not paid their fair share.
In 32 years, at the very least.
Regardless.
Remember one thing.
If they're politicians or not.
Being overly generous, let's just take the lower number.
Yeah.
Is 35 lower than 92?
Certainly.
Well, they used to pay 92% during the 50s and 60s, and in the 70s it was 72.
And the economy was
booming.
Booming.
So now it's 35, if they pay that.
Yeah.
Is that lower than 92 and 72?
Considerably.
Well then, what are they complaining about? The taxes are too high, it's too punitive. We're the job creators.
They're being petty and greedy and
lying.
And ridiculous.
And lying.
And lying.
Thank you.
I don't, well, some, there are, what the point is, what I've noticed is some Democratic voters and progressive liberals still feed into that Republican brainwashing that the rate they pay now, or no, if they pay a higher rate than they pay now, it will be punitive. They still feed into those lies.
Yeah, of course. That's the propaganda which has worked so well down in these southern states, these red states. They have all these people that are never going to make big bucks voting for them.
Yeah, and of course Romney is using the old family values bullshit trick in his campaign.
Well, they always use that.
Yeah, Republicans always use more morality and family values, and of course, being a bigot is part of that with them.
In the best case scenario, that's what Romney is. His real failure is that he didn't pay. He acts like he knows he failed to pay his fair share, even after the attacks of 9/11. Mm-hmm. Did Romney fail to pay what Americans would all say was his fair share to fund the war against Al-Qaeda terrorists? Make no mistake. Because Reid's accusation that he paid no taxes for 10 years would, if true, shatter Romney's candidacy, the Democratic leader's decision to publicize the claim without proof is contemptible. Democrats should insist their party stand for respect to our institutions. They should insist the Senate Ethics Committee consider reprimanding their party's leader for conduct unbecoming a senator. But leading Republican office holders have a major issue of conscience to resolve. They must tell their nominee they cannot actively campaign for a nominee who so disrespects fellow Americans by hiding his taxes. This is a major matter he can no longer hide. It is about our core values as Americans.
That's right.
So release those taxes, mister.
It's amazing how, well, he's obviously, it's obvious he's having, I mean, it's
obvious he's hiding.
He's hiding something. He obviously has something to hide.
Something dangerous to his
all
candidacy.
this time that has gone by, and he hasn't released his tax records yet.
Something that will make him look like a phony that he is.
Well, he already has a lot going against him, but all the lemmings, the fools out there in America, especially in the Bible Belt red states, they're still going to vote for Mitt Romney because they are deceived, they're hypnotized, they are deluded, and their minds are brainwashed by their religious cults. I wouldn't call it, well, you said just go ahead and call it Christianity. Their religious cult is a form of Christianity, a counterfeit form. Counterfeit form of Christianity. It's a cult because if you take away things from the Bible or add things to the Bible, actually it's a pretty big sin in the eyes of God. The last paragraph of the book of Revelations, it's a cult. It's not the truth. And that's what they believe in, and they're nuts.
And they don't look at history and see where they came from.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first counterfeit Christian evil religious zealot, right-wing fundamentalist zealot, greedy and corrupt, was probably the early popes of the Roman Catholic Church. Pretty much, right? They started.
Well, of course, that's where everything came from.
Simon Magus.
Babylonian mystery religion, Simon Magus, the Roman Catholic Church, and then the Protestants out of that.
Yeah.
That's what you got today.
The Protestants that were involved.
While at the same time, of course, the little flock, the actual true church that Jesus began in AD 31, the day of Pentecost, grew alongside of all of that nonsense in a small, persecuted way throughout the centuries until today.
Unfortunately. Right? And the Protestant example of this right-wing fundamentalism would be the Protestants that were involved in the Salem witch hunt. The Puritans. That would be one example. And so on and so on. List goes on and on. All right, now you got a good one as the last article for progressive discussions.
Curiosity may have captured the galactic equivalent of the Zapruder film when it landed on Mars.
Oh yeah.
Seconds after the NASA robot's landing Sunday night, Curiosity managed to squeeze off a handful of fuzzy black and white photographs.
Why fuzzy and why black and white?
It was a sandstorm or something.
Oh.
One, taken with a device on its rear known as a Hazcam, captured the pebble-strewn ground beneath the rover and one of its wheels, and a blotch, faint but distinctive, on the horizon. The images were relayed by a passing satellite. 2 hours later, the satellite passed overhead again. This time, Curiosity sent home a new batch of higher resolution photos.
How long did it take Curiosity to reach Mars?
I think it was 8 months.
So it takes...
It's like 150 million miles.
So it
Something.
literally would take humans 8 months to get to Mars. Wow, what a trip.
Well, according to the the fuel mechanisms you have today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what NASA has today.
I mean, we don't have the dilithium crystals
We don't travel at
and
this.
warp speed,
We don't have warp speed, no.
and that was limited even.
Yeah.
You know.
Did they utilize wormholes on Star?
Yes, a Voyager did. Star Trek Voyager with Kate Mulgrew.
That's the only way to fly.
You know?
Really, is the wormhole.
Well, that was between the quadrants. You know, you go through a wormhole and go from quadrant 4 to quadrant 3 or whatever.
It was a shortcut.
Shortcut. Yeah. The blotch was gone. Space junkies raced onto the internet with giddy speculation about the difference between the photos. Curiosity had just sailed through deep space for almost 9 months.
Right.
And more than 350 million miles. Not 150. Whew. It landed on its own, and scientists had no control over where exactly it would wind up, what direction it would point, nor when it would snap its first images. After all, those variables, the space junkies insisted, Curiosity had somehow snapped a photo of its chariot crash landing a safe distance away as planned. The camera shutter had been opened for 200 milliseconds. The blotch did look like a billowing plume of some sort, erupting from the horizon. But the image would be an insane coincidence, one engineer said. Yet a pesky fact remained. In the first photo, the blotch is there, and then it's not. Early Tuesday, JPL engineers received a new image of the landing zone taken by another satellite. So there's a satellite around Mars.
Is there?
And the rover is sending signals to that satellite, and that satellite sending signals back here.
So was the satellite?
That's my
Was
reading.
the satellite attached to the spacecraft that housed the rover?
No, I think it was put there, at the... There was another Mars landing, that other thing that...
So this satellite
into the ground
So,
and everything.
so this satellite. So Mars has a gravitational pull. So this satellite is.
Yes, it's less than Earth, and the atmosphere is less than Earth. Remember all the old Mars space program?
And Mars has poles. They have a north.
Because the air is thin, like Denver, Colorado.
Or the Andes Mountains, Bolivia, La Paz, Bolivia. It's like thin. So in other words, Mars has a north and south pole. They have polar ice caps. It shows in the photograph of Mars. So in other words,
It has polar caps. It has water. I'm not sure they know that has water yet.
Well, you could see the ice.
If it has water,
You could see
the planet has water.
Yeah.
There is a good chance it might have life.
Well, I'm saying the polar ice caps are white. If you look at the photo of Mars,
I've never heard that Mars had water. In fact, that's one of the experiments that this rover Curiosity is trying to look for.
Did you see my Hubble telescope photograph of Mars with the polar caps? Have you ever seen it?
They may not be polar caps, though.
They're white.
They may not be ice. That's what I'm saying.
What is it? Marshmallow fluff?
I don't know. But they're not sure that it has water.
Yeah. But what you're saying is the satellite has been revolving around Mars.
It seems that way.
And is still there.
Seems that way.
All right.
To the northwest was the spacecraft that had deposited Curiosity on the surface, known as the Sky Crane. It was the remnants of the final stage of the rover's intricate descent. The hovering spacecraft lowered Curiosity to the ground and then was cut loose. Once free, the crane throttled up its engines and arched across the Martian sky. The crime scene photo showed that the sky crane had crash landed as planned.
So is this a
About
one-way?
2,000 feet away.
Is this a one-way trip? Is this this machinery, and the probe and Curiosity
Will remain there.
are not returning?
No. And in the direction Curiosity's rear was pointed toward when it snapped the first photo, showing the blotch, the new photo also showed that the sky crane, when it crash landed, kicked up a violent wave of dirt that had scarred the surface of Mars. The impossible, it seemed, was possible. I don't think you can rule it out. Curiosity mission manager Michael Watkins said it bears looking into. Although the coincidence would be of little scientific value, it would be incredibly cool. A crazy, serendipitous thing. Justin Mackey, a JPL engineer and scientist who led the team that developed the HazCams, shorthand for hazard avoidance cameras, said further review had suggested that the photograph might not be as crazy as it sounded initially. Between the front and rear HazCams, the cameras covered 240 degrees of the horizon, or about 2/3. And the material the sky crane kicked up when it crashed could have hung in the air for a minute or two, he said.
Yeah.
Mars's gravity is 38% of strong as Earth's.
Okay. So that means that the satellite is probably revolving farther away from the red planet than a satellite revolving around Earth. If its gravity is only 38%,
it wouldn't matter. It could be closer, because its gravity is only 1/3 of the Earth's.
but gravity means a stronger pull,
Yeah.
right? So why would the satellite be closer if Mars is only
because
30?
Because the pull wouldn't be that bad for many, many years. You know?
Yeah.
We don't know anything about the satellite. This story is only about Curiosity.
So all we know is the satellite has been there.
There's a satellite there. That's what it sounds
Okay,
like. Yeah.
and so they're not in this trip. They're not concerned about collecting Martian soil or rocks.
I think they're going to do that anyway,
Well, how is it coming back?
because the experiments will be done on the rover itself and transmitted.
Really?
The information will be transmitted.
So the geological information on the Martian soil
Because how the hell are they going to test for water?
and rocks and everything will be done there, and then that information will be transmitted via the satellite to Earth. So they do not have to physically bring the rock back,
No.
even though the rock would look very nice in a museum.
And it would be worth a lot of money to capitalists,
Oh, sure.
as are the moon rocks.
The supposed moon rocks. Get it?
Anyway, which could have increased the chances of capturing the image. Something was out there.
Oh boy.
There's a chance the mystery may never be solved. It was a one-time event over in seconds. And there will never be new images of that moment. It's circumstantial evidence, but it's pretty good circumstantial evidence. I don't understand what the evidence is for. A blotch. What a blotch? What the hell is it? The blotch just to the left of center on the horizon is the focus of attention for scientists and space junkies. Well, I'm looking at a picture here. It's a black and white picture, unfortunately. But I don't see nothing but a blotch. See anything?
Oh, yeah, if I don't see shit.
Nothing.
Looks like a mug of beer. It's black and white. It's not even worth showing our viewers. It's.
They're not going to see it.
I guess it's too early to get anything good back. I guess when the sandstorm is over with, I'm sure Curiosity will send lots of
Curiosity killed the cat.
lovely information and lovely colored photos back. Now, before we say goodbye, for now, so long, do you have an article or any information about what I've been reading lately concerning our energy-saving compact fluorescent spiral light bulbs causing cancer?
No.
Because
what kind of cancer? Why? What cancer?
Well, it says a direct and close exposure to these bulbs. I don't know if it has to do with the fact.
What you got to do? Go sniff the bulb?
I don't know if it has to be a cracked or damaged bulb where the gas comes out or what. But I keep on reading these articles about the compact fluorescent spirals causing skin cancer or something.
Too early to learn anything like that.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. You haven't heard.
I know what's going on. The big boys don't like them. They got rid of them. They went back to incandescent bulbs.
Because
the Congress or whatever, because of the energy-saving qualities of the fluorescent bulbs.
So the Congress,
and they were being passed out, remember, for free and everything.
Yeah. So that stopped. So Congress, instead of Congress embracing the whole green movement, they are doing a reverse green movement by going back to the
brown movement.
The brown movement, the energy guzzling, the electricity guzzling incandescent bulbs that get hot and burn out all the time. So the green movement, now that Republicans are in Congress, the green movement is going in reverse to the greedy movement of the Republican Congress.
Well,
how disgusting conservative American capitalism really is. They're despicable. I'm sorry.
All you need to see with all this phoniness that's going on here is all that oil that they're extracting in North Dakota. Where's it going? Is it staying in the United States here so we can only pay 38 cents a gallon?
Probably selling it abroad.
That's correct. On the world market, where they get whatever the going price is. Okay?
Yeah.
And then we're paying what? $3.60 cents a gallon now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this.
So how can that be for our benefit?
So
to allow them to drill on, our lands and this, that, and the other thing, and sell it overseas.
So the concept of being independent of OPEC of foreign oil, Middle Eastern oil, by having our own and keeping our own in the United States, that whole idea is out the window.
It never was a reality.
The green movement is out the window. The dependency on foreign oil is out the window because the Republicans, the right wing, control Washington right now. Everybody loves to blame Obama for everything, but not realizing,
Yeah, they conveniently forget about Mr. G.W. Bush.
So everything.
Where the problems began.
So everything, exactly. 8 years of Bush and Cheney.
Let's understand something.
So everything is about profit, and to hell with the American people, to hell with their voters, and to hell with the planet, and to hell with the environment, and that's it.
Let's understand something. When FDR took over, during the Great Depression caused by Hoover, it took 8 years to get out of that. And World War II did it.
Yeah.
By putting people back to work and paying the military bills and etc. So Obama's only got 4 years into this.
Right.
So how can it be his fault?
Exactly.
Was it FDR's fault?
No.
When he took over?
Yeah, how do you blame the man that hasn't been in that long to undo 8 years of the worst damage the United States has ever seen?
They're doing it though, aren't they?
And then the idiot American jerk-off lemmings, the stupid asses, voted in a Republican Congress, which makes it very difficult for Obama to do the right thing, to do his job.
Yeah, if he was going to do it, yeah.
If he was going to do it. Yeah. But anyway, I just want to end by showing people how wonderful products are and I'm being sarcastic, products are made by American corporations. You hear that, Mitt Romney? Here's my sandal, not even a 1 year of wearing it, and already it's splitting. I don't know if you could see that on camera.
Yeah. Planned obsolescence.
Not even a year of wearing this sandal. It's
Now wait a minute though.
It's falling apart.
Wait a minute, where was it made? Maybe China.
Yeah, but aren't these
No,
products?
Americans don't make any
But
shoes.
aren't these products made under U.S. company specifications? No.
They have no specifications.
Their specification is make it cheap and sell it high.
That's it.
So we got Chinese products. You know, buy low. This is like the. This should be one of the commandments of the Republican Party, of conservative greedy capitalism. Buy low, sell high. The lower you buy and the higher you sell, the more they love you. Anyway, we're in the end times. It's only going to get worse. We're all doomed. Anyway,
We're all without natural affection.
like it says in the Bible, without natural affection. Okay, Timothy, what is it? 2 Timothy? 2 Timothy.
3:13, I think.
Something like that, yeah. People in the last days will become cold and without natural affection.
Lovers of themselves.
Lovers of
more than lovers of God. A whole big description there.
A big description. I think we have that on the Cyber Church of God, I believe.
Possibly.
It's there. Go there and read it. Say so long to these people.
So long, you people.